HVAC services is a generic name, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, but we do a whole lot more. We do indoor air quality.
To dehumidification and the heat pump, gas furnace, air conditioning, but we also do geothermal, oil furnaces.
Refrigeration, ice machines, ventilation systems. We work on deep fryers and stuff. If it heats and cools, we can fix it.
At the end of the day, we're going to have a happy customer.
We got a company here that anything we do, we back it up, make sure that it's done right, and we stand behind it 100%.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of What's Cooking, brought to you by Esch's Utility Buildings and HVAC Services. Today I'm with Miss Sherry Vaughn here at Main Street Bed and Breakfast, and sitting before this beautiful spread of breakfast food that they serve here. But before I get into that, Miss Sherry, thank you so much for having me here in your establishment.
My pleasure.
This is a really unique location and it has a pretty unique history as well. Tell us a little bit about this place.
Sure. It was built in 1810 by Samuel Jordan, who was the jailer of Glasgow at the time and a bricklayer. And he built the house for Mr. Giddings, who was a schoolmaster. But shortly after the house was finished, Thomas Childs Dickinson bought the house, and the Dickinson family has owned it since then. Now, Delvo Dickinson Greer was the last resident that lived here, and when he passed away, he deeded the property to Follis Crowe at the funeral home, and Follis turned part of the property into his parking lot and then deeded the house to the city. And the city wanted to preserve the house since it's one of the oldest in town, so they were going to turn it into office space. But there was nobody that wanted to buy it for office space, so it sat for a while until my friends Karen and Gary Carroll asked the city if they could buy it and turn it into a bed and breakfast.
And so that's how it stands today, and keep the legacy alive, the history alive, and you house a lot of people here whenever they're coming to visit Glasgow, or they make their way north or south to visit family, relatives, or other people. But most importantly, you have a welcome greeter here as well. Tell us a little bit about her.
Yes, you'll probably hear her barking throughout the video, but that is Lulu, and she's part of the attraction here. Everybody loves Lulu, my dog.
So she's a working dog.
She is. Yep, she has two jobs. She's my alarm system and my vacuum. So anything that falls to the floor is her job to clean up.
That's an important job. Have your own custodian here. Keep it in the family as well.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
So
cheap labor.
Lulu is great, but what's also great, I'm told, is the breakfast that you serve here at this place. And there's a couple of items people absolutely go crazy about, which is why I'm here. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to be cooking today.
Well, everyone loves Kentucky sausage gravy and biscuits. So that's
no argument there.
I'm preparing for you today, but I like to mix it up for breakfast. So I serve all different kinds of things, from scrambled eggs and bacon to huevos rancheros to crepes. You never know what you're going to get for breakfast.
But today we're doing the biscuits
and sausage
gravy. So I'm starving. I love breakfast food, as many of you know from watching this. What do you say? Let's head back into the kitchen and let's see what's cooking.
Okay.
All right, everybody. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Esch's Utility Buildings in Glasgow has a large inventory of the best quality buildings on the market. Cabins, lofted barns, porch packages, two-car garages, horse barns, play sets, and carports. Esch's can also customize for you with many options available. Free setup and delivery in most of Kentucky and Tennessee. Serving the area since 1985, Esch's Utility Buildings strives for outstanding quality and service to every customer. Visit their lot on West Main Street in Glasgow to get a building for life.
All right, I'm going to show you how to make homemade buttermilk biscuits. So we're going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Next, we're going to add 4 teaspoons of baking powder. So this is 3, and that would be 4. A half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. A half a teaspoon of regular salt, and 2 tablespoons of sugar. We're going to mix all that together. And now we're going to add in a half a cup of lard. You can use all-purpose shortening, but lard just gives it a better texture. I use the beater to mix it up. And we're going to add 2/3 cup of buttermilk. I'm just going to, that looks about right. And then you want to roll it out to about a 1/2 inch thickness. And then we're going to cut it into biscuit size circles. So we've got our biscuits on the pan. It's an ungreased pan, and we're going to bake it at 375 for about 15 minutes. Now we're ready to make the sausage gravy. And I don't know if you want to show this, but Lulu gets to lick the wrapper. All right, so we're going to chop this up and let it brown. And we're going to add flour to make a roux. A roux is just flour and some kind of fat to create a thickening agent. You just want that flour to cook a little bit so that it doesn't lump up when you pour the milk in there. Now we're going to let that thicken. All right, and now we're going to get our gravy and pour this into our bowl. Lulu, you're so funny. All right, we are done with our sausage gravy and biscuits here at Main Street Bed and Breakfast. Bon appetit!
Oh, it's amazing how something so simple, basic ingredients, can taste so heavenly and wonderful. I love sausage, I love sausage gravy, and I love biscuits, especially made from lard. It's a different texture, but it's also got a different flavor to it as well, an amazing flavor. This is outstanding.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. Everybody, you got to come here. Main Street Bed and Breakfast. See Miss Sherry, see Miss Lulu, but more importantly, you have to try this sausage gravy and lard biscuits. It's to die for. And she's made a few eggs for me as well. So everybody, again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Miss Sherry.
You're welcome.
And I'll see you again next week on What's Cooking, brought to you by HVAC Services and Esch's Utility Buildings.